5 red lights on, and Nick Callum in pole position. Lights out, away we go here in Montreal, as Nick Callum is going to keep the pole position here, keep the lead. Des Gaming going to drop all the way down up to 6, fighting with Matt Edwards. Des Gaming going to keep up in 6, Pelicanus in 5th, Turd Ferguson in 4th. Matt Edwards going to drop all the way down. Curious Mender going to come through. Tobsku not going to be qualifying. Mystery and Silver Moon going at it back and forth. Mystery able to overtake the Red Bull, and still a 1.5 behind Nick Callum. Turd Ferguson going to overtake the Red Bull as he's going to try and outmuscle going into this hairpin, a heavy braking zone, so be on the lookout for a couple of overtakes as Pelicanus just can't get around the Red Bull. And Matt Edwards, tenths of a second, Matt Edwards looking to overtake the Red Bull, and he will just outmuscle him in the hairpin. They're going wheel to wheel there. Tobsuka will actually end up getting the switchback on it, and he will regain the 8th position, but don't count Matt Edwards out as he's flying through. Nick Callum still sets another fastest lap at a 1:19.8 there in the Sauber. And just rounding out lap 4, wheel to wheel there as coming into turn 1. We were saying some dive bomb attempts, and Matt Edwards is going to try to get that, but the switchback hits for Tobsuka, and absolutely beautiful there. That was just beautiful, clean racing from... It has about an 11-second lead. The top 2 are going to pit. Pelicanus is going to end up pitting. We'll see if they pit for mediums or hards. And Ferrari's going to actually go for the double stack, so this could lose some time for the squad. I think Mystery is just going to be able to get out just in front. Actually, no, Des Gaming is going to overtake the Ferrari as he sets a 1:15. Mystery coming out just behind is actually going to fall down to P5. Pelican is going to fall down to P6 and could fall down more depending on the pit lane. He's going to fall down all the way down to P8. Des Gaming back up, hitting his apexes and doing essentially what he would be doing on a time trial. Des Gaming's actually going to sit into the pits right now. I think he's going to try and maybe go for an undercut attempt. He's going to go to the hard tire, so no more pit stops for him. He will have the faster tires. Pelicanus is going to jump up, and Mender is going to jump over as they go wheel to wheel. Pelicanus, Mender into turn 1. Pelicanus is going to hit no switchback attempt there, but nothing there. Nice defense, but actually, will Mender hit the switchback? He will. Coming out of turn 2, he's going to outmuscle the Ferrari, but Pelicanus wheel to wheel going into that couple chicanes after Pelicanus is going to spin out, and we have a Sector 1 yellow flag, as that is huge for the Ferrari as he spins out and going wheel to wheel with Curious Mender. He's not going to have a front wing, so he might have to pit here. Maybe purple Sector 3 for Nick Callum. He's now within a second of the Haas. Curious to see if the DRS is open. I'm not sure if DRS was enabled quite yet, but he is flying right now, and that's great news if you are a Sauber fan. They go wheel to wheel right now, coming into the DRS zone. No DRS active. Nick Callum gonna outmuscle. He will have actually DRS active, and he will fly down as the DRS was enabled, and Nick Callum's gonna get a 3-second time penalty for them, so another 3 seconds there for the Sauber. He's on the stream and not trying to be in dirty air. It's always a little tough when you're behind because you don't know if you're going to be in dirty air or the slipstream. Looks like he's getting the slipstream right now as he's just down by a 1/10 of a second. He had DRS open, but the DRS and the slipstream, a powerful combination. Only down by 2/10 of a second. They come into the second DRS zone. DRS wide open for Mystery. How is the Williams going to defend? He's not going to. He steps to the side. They go wheel to wheel, and Mystery's going to come through, but who's going to get first on the chicane? Double spin out there as some contact that allows for Turd Ferguson. They split the Red Sea. Des Gaming and Turd Ferguson go all the way up, and wheel-to-wheel contact there allows for a spin out in the final chicane. We go to last turn. Mystery's going to try to go for another move. He's gaining in the DRS zone. DRS wide open. Will there see another spin out there as they go wheel-to-wheel back and forth, and Mystery going to get the position finally. Switchback attempt for Curious Mender as they go wheel once more. Another DRS zone just closed. Curious Mender able to keep the position here. Here's who's going to take the inside line. It's going to be Mystery, and he's going to force Mender out wide. They come into this final sector here, and it'll be interesting to see DRS, and we've seen this before going into this chicane, going into the hairpin. They were wheel to wheel once more. Will they be wheel to wheel once again? 0.2 of a second now 4/10. Who's going to be first on the brakes? It's going to be Curious Mender. He's going to take the inside line, hits the apex. Mystery almost got a clean exit there, a little bit of a messy exit, but still on the brakes, making up time down to under 0.2 of a second, under a tenth of a second, trying to go to the outside. Will Mystery get the overtake? He finally does, but who's gonna go through the chicane as they go through? Mystery comes through. Curious Mender, another 3-second violation, and Mystery will take the lead in this, but don't count out Curious Mender as he's trying to weave his way through traffic and get over Mystery. Des Gaming just takes the hairpin as we go through here, and Nick Callum will be your winner of the URS Season 1 Canadian Grand Prix. Take a bow, Nick Callum. What a race he had. Finishing right behind him on the podium is Des Gaming, and coming through behind him will be Turd Ferguson as he's coming through the wall of champions. Prep the champagne as we will have the podium ceremony here as Turd Ferguson will take the final place of podium.